Hi, Alison. I'll just give it a couple of minutes because for some reason it shows that people are logging in and then going off, so I don't know whether Facebook's playing up again. Well, I'm glad to be back here now. Not sure what happened with Facebook. I got an email saying that something I had said, done, liked, whatever, had contravened their community standards. However, when I went on, I couldn't find the said community standards and it didn't tell me. But I'm back, so I'm not going to mess about. Speaking to different people, it can be something as small as somebody didn't like a picture and put a complaint up about me. Now, from talking with some friends, the last post that I did had 3 or 4 pictures on, and the pictures were of the Christmas book. Now, I don't know, it's a very chunky Father Christmas. Maybe it was somebody who didn't like Father Christmas being fat. Yeah, no idea. I've been onto a number of different forums, and they've just basically said it can be anything. If Facebook don't like it, they don't have to tell you what it is. So this is the book, quick sneak peek before Christmas. So with it there are, there's a hinge. No, there's not. There's a charm hanger. There's some tassely bits. And there's this cute dangly bit that is actually quite weighty. It's not a real crystal, but there's a star shape, I don't know if you can see them. Let me just hold it up. So you're getting a reindeer charm, a star, 3D star shape with your long dangly bit. There is a snowman charm and a little, I think it's supposed to be a poinsettia, but I'm not very good with my plants, so it might not be. Another little star shape, and a little present on there, all ready for Christmas, and the 2 danglies. So the front of the book is 10 inches by 10 inches, so it is a bit of a monster. I've worked out, I think there's 76 plus room. There's room for 76 plus 6x4 photographs. So it opens up, and it's the new Katie Petite collection. So on here you've got a pocket there, you've got a big pocket, a big photo area there. That's one of the 3x4 cutter parts that I've just made into a pocket. and just pop the bookmark and another one into there. Then on this side, I think this was the close-up of the big fat Santa, but he's really cute. So on here you've got 2 bull pins with a snowflake and a Christmas tree on, and they just pull out their 6x4 photo mats on there. That opens up. Again, you've got a pocket here to slide your photo mats in. Another pocket. Oops. I have actually 3D'd the berries on the holly, just for something a bit different. Room for photographs on the back, and again another 3x4 cut down. You can put a photograph on there. Flip that over. These are the enamel dots with it, and these are from the, I think they're from the ephemera, and that might be from the laser cuts. And this, it's what Art and Creative are calling PET tape, and they just, it is a sticker, but it just blends into the background and you don't have to cut it out, which is great. So turn that over, move it along. Again, you've got a lift up bit here, double pocket at the bottom. You've got a big photo mat there. That's a 6x4 photo mat, and one of the small tags that I've just backed onto black card. There is room, I'm not finished off yet, for putting another photo mat in the side there. And these are some of the laser cuts. Move this across. Now you've got here a photo mat with one of the laser cuts on. You've got another, you've got a paper clip with a different sort of snowflake charm on. This one opens up that way, and some of these are the ephemera. This one opens up that way. I'll move this across. Again, you've got quite a large 7 3/4 square photo mat, and again this is one of the bookmarks that come within the collection. Now these are from the laser cuts. I've not stuck them down completely because you can then slide your photographs behind them. So you've got 2 frames. You can put your photographs in there and then see. I didn't want to seal them down, stick them down completely until the photos were in. Again, you've got a tag there with some of the Christmassy red, green and white trim. Turn it over. Whoops. And again, it's a stacked pocket. So there you've got your stacked pocket going up, and I did mean to do it alternate, patterned and red, but yeah. Large photo mat again, and once I've decided on the photos, there is enough paper left to trim up the edges of the photo mats, but I haven't decided on photos yet. There is a large bookmark, another one, there's a 6x4 portrait and 6x4 photo mat landscape, and another tag. Then on this side you've got a photo mat with a different Christmas tree and a different snowflake on, and these pull out like that to put your photos on. These open up like that. Again, these are some of the ephemera and the laser cuts. That's one of the Poinsettia Pet Tape ribbons. Got a pocket here. Oh, photo mat that I've not remembered to decorate yet, and another 3x4 photo mat. This is some of the laser cuts, and then that opens that way. You've got another large photo mat, and again some more of the oh, excuse me, some more of the laser cut frames that I've not completely stuck down, so you can put your photographs behind them, and a couple more of the tags. Open that up and you've got, oops, a small tag, a 3x4 cut apart, a 6x4 cut apart, a large bookmark, a large photo mat, I just realised you can't see, and then these two open up and you've got a pocket with another photo mat inside. So there are lots of places to put your photos in this book. Move it across again, and you've got two charms on paper clips, a snowflake and a present. Again, that's one of the laser cuts. Open those up and you've got a long landscape photo mat. These are pockets. Oh no, that one's stuck down. These are pockets, so you could put another photo behind there if you wanted. Close that, open that up, and you've got a large vertical, lots of room for putting photos on, and on the back. And here, this is one of the larger stickers from the Pet Tape with some of the laser cuts. So close that down, turn that over, and again you've got the large stacked pocket again. So on there you've got 5 different photo mats. There's another snowflake charm there. Move that over. And this one isn't quite how I wanted it to be because I worked it out wrong, but I'm really pleased with how it's turned out. So it's a 7x5 photo mat. So you've got one landscape, no, you've got one portrait, one landscape, another one portrait, another one landscape, and then a large photo mat in the back that I've not decorated. So you just, they come in one by one and close up like that, and then turn that one over, and on here there is a belly band. You've got photo mat at the back, 2 more photo mats here. Oops. Obviously the pocket is just slightly up from the bottom, just as something a little bit different. Some more of the laser cuts and the stickers in there, and then on your belly band you've got a waterfall, so you can pop your 6x4 photographs in there. Oops. And on there we've got, it's a pair of mittens for when it's cold outside on your paper clip. And then the pocket at the back has got a gusset in it, and again you've got a large photo mat, lots of room there to put your photographs in. Like I say, I have got the offcuts of the paper. So when I've decided what size photographs I'm putting in, I'll then trim up the edges. That's a stocking charm. These are some of the enamel dots that you get in the kit. Another one of the bookmarks with the Christmassy trim. There is a 6x4 portrait sized photo mat, and then also one that is landscape. So we'll be starting this one in a couple of weeks. Just move this all over. So there is room for another 5 photo mats to go inside the pages. It is a chunky book. It will probably be the end of October when we start this, just because I'm actually away for just under 2 weeks, but I'll go through that in a little while. So the kits for these are in the store. So yeah, it's the new collection by Katie Petite, but it's from Arden Creative Studios, and it is an absolute joy to work with, and the laser cuts are so clever and so delicate, and even some of the ephemera, really pretty and very well thought out. So moving on, before Facebook chucked me out last week, we'd got this far with the 12 months book, so I'd gone ahead, there's my, oops, kept my offcuts, and I had cut all my paper in half vertically, just because it was easier. This is 6 inches, so we know all the pages are 6 inches, so it just made it easier to cut it down to size. Move that out of the way. So we've done our pages, we've done our pockets for the inside, front and back cover. So I'm going to put the spine and the outside of the book out of the way. So working, so just going to measure that up again. So yeah, 6 inches by 4.5. So I need to choose my paper for here, and I'm going to use the one with the cats and the animals on. So if that's 4.5 inches there, I need to cut it just under the 4.5 marks. I'm going to do it at 4 3/8. And this is slightly over the 6 inches. So I'm just going to trim that down. Now, because I like this quite clean looking, I'm actually not going to ink the edges on this. I think there's so much different bits of colour, I couldn't decide which one I wanted to use more. And my favourite vintage photo, or what's happened there, that I usually use, didn't seem to be right with such a fresh colour palette on here. So if you don't like the pattern, you have of course got the plainer side on the back. So the glue on. And just line that up. Now I'm not going to put anything on the back of here at the minute. I'm going to cover all my large areas first, and I might actually put a photograph on there. And on here, I'm going to use one of the 3x4 journaling cards. So I'm just going to leave that for now. So on the back, don't forget, on these pages you've got your lift up bit, and then you've got your, that's a bit too big, your pockets. There. But my photo mats are just slightly bigger than 6x4 to put your 6x4 photograph on, so that's why. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to use this one, and what I can do is do it so it flows all the way down. So we know that is 4.5. So if I cut the top bit off just under, so at 4 3/8, and again it's slightly bigger than the 6 inches, so that one's going to go there. Now for this next one, we've got our pocket here. So up to the pocket is 2 inches, but I want to leave a little bit of a reveal at the top. If I cut that at 2 inches, I can just slide it down slightly, and that will tuck just inside the pocket. So if I do that at 2 inches, and then the depth of the pocket is 2.5. So if I cut that at just under the 2.5, that will fit there. So again, if it's too busy for you, you turn it over and it's a plainer side. So we'll just pop the glue on the top here. And just slide that into position. Okay, and then put this in. I've gone back to my small glue bottle because it's not as, I think the plastic's thinner on the bottle, so it's easier to squeeze. So I've just been decanting it from the bigger bottle into the smaller bottle, and using it from there, and again on here. Things we have to do as we get older. Pop the glue on, make sure you get some around the edges. And that goes on there. So if we turn that down, that's not going to fit on there, but I'll leave that. We'll look at that again when I've done the main pieces. So again, we're going to do this side. So I want those two to be matching, but I don't need the underneath to be matching to each other. So if I move that over to that side, oops, and oh, choices. I think I'm going to go for that one with the strange creatures on. So again, turn that up. Again, that's 6 by 4.5. So I'll make sure I get my paper up the right way. So just under the 4.5. Like I say, for some reason I've cut all my paper at, oh, I know what I've done. Cut it slightly wider than 6. So that's going to go on the top there. I don't know if any of you heard that. My son's just come upstairs after having his tea and he's singing. So, not quite sure what he was singing. So again, just line that up and pop it all down like that. Then again, we've got our, just going to trim this down. We've got our 2-inch section there. So that will go there, and I've forgotten what that was. 2.5. So that one's just under 2.5. So pop the glue on. And just slide that in there. For some reason my computer just screen went off then. Thought I'd lost everyone again. Thought I'd been Facebook banned. And the good thing with the Sticks 2 glue is if you get it everywhere, it does just rub off your fingers. So let's have a read while I'm... Evening, Nicole. Oh no, up at 3. The only good reason to be up at 3 o'clock in the morning is if you're getting on an aeroplane to go somewhere nice and sunny. Well, I hope everything was sorted for you. Just pop that on. Like that. So there we've got the front of our second page. Flip that over, and again with this one I'm going to do, I think I'm actually going to do the 2 pages facing each other with the same paper. So again, it's 4.5 inches. So do it at 4 3/8. Trim it down. So again, it's down to 4 3/8. So again, just pop the glue on the back I don't know if this paper shows up really well on, the lines are actually wiggly, and when I look at it, it does make my eyes wonder if I'm seeing things or if the paper's moving. My eyes don't cope with things like that very well. Again, just line that up. There's a bit too much on there, it's all squidged out. Again, I'm not going to put anything on here just yet, until I decide on my photographs. So the good thing about the Christmas book, Alison, is I'd finished making it up on, I think it was Tuesday morning last week, and then I got banned on Facebook. So I'd finished making it up and I'd taken a few sneak peek photographs. Posting them, which is at some point when I was put in Facebook jail. But it did mean that I wrote the instructions up pretty much as soon as I'd finished the book. Which meant it was actually really easy because I remembered what I'd done, which is always a good move. So, choices for paper. I'm going to go with this one. So again, because it's the inside, I'm going to do that using this. You don't have to use the same paper. You could use some of it that way, some of it that way. I just quite like it going all the way the same way. So again, we're at 4.5 inches, or just under, so that's like 4 3/8. And just trim it down again. So, and then it's 2 inches for the back of the pocket. And then just under the 2.5 for the front of the pocket. So, I'm going to pop the glue on. Again, try and get all the edges. And slide that into place. And there you go. And pop that one on there. So this is for the front of the pocket. Don't know where that's come from. A little bit of a fly in the glue. So I could put that way round. Once you've got your photo mat or your photos in there, you aren't gonna see, I quite like that one on there. So we'll just pop this on like that. And slide that back into place. Yep, so that's that one. And then we've got this one, and I think I'm going to do the same with this one. Now these little bits that we've trimmed off, you could use it to put something along the bottom. What I have done for before is if you put that along the bottom of there, just glue it at each end, you can tuck things behind it. So if it's just glued at the bottom, you can tuck that behind it, or you can tuck a photograph behind it, but we'll talk about that later. So again, on this one, I think I'm going to use I think it takes me longer. I don't know about anybody else. Is there an easy way of choosing which paper to use next? So again, 4 3/8. Trim that down. So then the next section is at 2 inches. And then 2.5 for the pocket. It shouldn't have run out. Yeah, there we go. So I only filled it up this afternoon, so it shouldn't have run out yet. Card. Oh, fancy working in the south of France. How amazing. Warm sunshine. You'd write instructions up for the class at each stage. That would be a really sensible idea, Nikki, to make it up as you make them, to write your instructions as you make it up. Yeah, it would be good, but then I change my mind and I have to rewrite things, so I tend to wait till I've done and finished it completely so that I don't change my mind again. Oops, that's a bit wonky. So again, on this one, instead of putting it the same way, I'm just going to turn that round. Once you've got your photo mats in there, you're not going to see that much. It depends if you want it all matchy or if you're happy for it to just be decorative. What's U3A? Sounds like some sort of secret service code. And again, with this glue, if it oozes out a bit, just rub it off. So we've got that to there. Again, I'm actually going to use that one. Just have these two matching so that I don't, if I do it matching, it's fine. If not, and you have two different papers side by side, you've got to make sure they don't jar against each other, which is quite easily done, and that's a bit of a waste of paper if that happens. But yeah, like you say, if it's your book and you like it, that's fine by me. the wrong size then. So yeah, we'll just squeeze the glue again. There we go. Okay, sure you all know how to just do your putting your papers on. Oops. Glue everywhere. It's either coming out really slowly or really fast. So again, we're onto our back page, which is, again, you've got your 3 sections. And I go with that one. Or I might not. Yeah. So we'll do 4 3/8. And then we've got our 2-inch. And our just under 2.5 inches. Interesting to know, is anybody actually crafting along, or are you watching and then making after? Always intrigued to know if people can keep up with me, or if I'm going too fast or too slow. And put that one on the bottom. So we've now got, oops, that. So we've done most of our main sections. I've got my piece that I'm using for, which I should have said before, the piece you want for your front, put that to one side so you don't use it when you're doing this, because it's very, but I've done that without thinking. So don't forget, that's the front of the collection, but it did have stripes on the back, which I quite liked, so that's what I was using for the front. So now I've got the top of here, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 by 4 and 3/8. So right, I think I'm gonna go with the words. So at 4 3/8, and just under the 6. Thought I was saving myself time trimming the paper down, but yeah, didn't quite work. Oh, that piece has come off. For some reason the glue didn't stick on that one. I'll just pop a bit more glue on the back. And there we go. So we've got our front page like that. So that's to go on there. I need another one to go on the other side at 4 3/8. Quite cute. Or you could do it that way, right? Actually, I quite like that one as well. See, double-sided paper gives you choices, but it's not always good to have too much choice. So, pop that down. Oh. Evening, Lynn, although it's not evening where you are. Okay. Oops, slightly off there. Just while it's still movable. Put that over. Again, we're going to use our journaling cards for that. And for this one, I'm going to use the floral. Oh gosh, 8 AM. So are you Thursday morning or Wednesday morning? I get confused. So you're 12 hours ahead of us. I have to think about it where everyone is, but again, just pop it down, make sure it's in the right place, flatten it off. Yeah, you'll have to watch on Catch Up, Lynn. I'll show you the on Catch Up. You can see the book that we're doing with Arden Creative Studios with their Fab Fat Santa. Just line that up and just wiggle that into place. And then we've just got one more. Just under 4 3/8. going rogue, I'm going to use the pink side. Don't often use pink, but why not? And again, with this one, I thought it'd be really easy to cut along the lines, but they're not straight lines. So there we go. So what we're going to do now is need to put these on here. Now before I cover the back, what I'm going to do is attach the pockets that we did last week. So I'm just going to make sure that's the right way. And some glue on there. Perhaps it wasn't last week, I was in Facebook jail. And pop that on just slightly up from the bottom. You don't want it too low even. And then if you remember with the second pocket, we've got to gusset all round on there. So I'll pop the glue on. And what's useful to do when you've got a gusset in your pockets is when you pop it on, pop it in place, then using your bone folder, just push it down like that so that it keeps its form. You don't want it where it goes flat, because then you can put your photo booklets in. So just keep your finger there so you don't push it out of shape. And then again, burnish that down like that. So that is quite a deep pocket, but it does mean you can get more in there. Get rid of that. So I've got my paper for my front and back for my covers. So using all these now, I can decide which ones I want on which bits. Quite like that one. Where is, that would have been easier. That's the one I'm looking for. Quite like that one to go in there, and possibly that one for there. So I'm gonna pop the glue on. And just make sure it goes inside like that, and just edge it up, and we've got that. Then I think I'll have, it's a bit bright, that one at the bottom. So if I just measure the pocket, which is 2 inches, so if I go just under the 2, do 1 7/8, that then will fit just on the bottom of the pocket. And again, you can have either side showing, it's entirely up to you. Glue everywhere. Okay, so again on this one, I'm actually not quite big enough. That one on the front. Put my ruler down. So that pocket is 3 inches. So trim this down to just under the 3, so we'll go to the 2 7/8. Pop that on the bottom there. So at the top, we just need a 2-inch strip. So I'll trim that down to 2 inches again. And just so they don't clash, I'm just going to turn that over. Pop that at the top like that. And that's sorted. So I'm just going to get my small scissors and cut off the hinges just at a slight angle. I don't think you can see this very well. Just to make it easier to slide the pockets on the top. Turn that round again. Doesn't help having black scissors on black card, does it? Okay. So when I'm putting my pages in, I always start from the back and work forward. No particular reason, but that's the way I do it. So just pop your glue on the hinge like that. Take your back page, and if you just squeeze it slightly, it will show straight the way through, so you can then pop that over the hinge. And then push that down and just hold that in place and just encourage it to stick. Rub that down. Then again, we move on to the next hinge, where we just pop your glue on either side like that. Get your next page, do that so you know exactly where that it's going, and just slide it over the hinge. And as you push it down, make sure they line up with the hinge that you've already, the page that you've already added. Again, onto your next hinge, and pop your glue on And again, just open up your page so you can feed that over the top. Make sure it lines up with the other pages. And just fold it over that way and just give it a squish down. And then again, glue on both sides of your hinge. Open your page up, slide it on, and just hold that in place again. And then for your front page, same sort of thing. Glue on your hinge, and then open your page up. Oops. And slide it over like that. Make sure it's stuck there, and then just hold that in place like that. Now all these little offcuts, oops, in fact some of them you might need to cut down as well, you can trim them down and pop them in between. Bit of glue there. So your book is almost finished. We'll leave it for there, and then next week we'll do all the finishing decorations, and we will do your front and back covers, we'll decorate it and put all the little finishing touches on it to make it look all sorted. We'll use all the little ephemera. Some of these can be done to put in there. So keep all your little offcuts. So keep all your little bits together. And then so we'll finish this off next week, and I might do another sneaky peek with the Christmas book. Okay, so I'll keep everything together so it doesn't all go everywhere, and then we'll finish that book off. We'll finish this off next week, and then we can start, like I say, I'll put the link up for the Christmas book. There is a lot in it. It is quite a big book, with lots of additional bits and pieces in it. So I'll put a link up to the shop. Sorry, I'll start that again because my brain's not working. I'll put a link to the album up for you. I think I worked it out to buy all the bits individually come to about £76. But the actual full kit is, I've done that at £65, so you're getting everything that you need, all your charms, all your gems, excuse me, everything you need apart from your glue and your paper trimmers or scissors or whatever you prefer. So yeah, there we go. Right, have a wonderful weekend. I don't know about anybody else. I'm off down to Dunstan. We've got a 2-day scrapbook crop, which I might be making books, I might be scrapbooking, I might just sit and chat and catch up with friends. We'll see what happens. So have a lovely weekend, and I'll see you all back here next week. See you soon. Bye.